That muffin is looking awfully like a hamster. Someone baked a hamster into my muffin.
You probably don't believe in reincarnation, but in my past life, I was not only a hot female with massive mummy milkers, but I was also a circus clown. And every day I would work for 10 hours performing for the richest people in the country until one day I had enough and tried to escape the circus. But of course, my mummy milkers were so heavy that I could only run at a maximum speed of 1 mile per hour. And so I was quickly caught before being brutally diddled and executed by the king himself. Anyways, apparently there are much worse ways for a circus worker to die. The worst circus deaths ever by simple paint.
Walenda Pyramid Tragedy. On January 30th, 1962, the Flying Walendas were performing their signature 7-person pyramid act at Detroit's State Fair Coliseum. The world's most famous high-wire family had performed death-defying stunts for generations. Their most spectacular act involved 7 members arranged in a 3-level pyramid while crossing a high wire without safety nets, requiring absolute precision.
Bro, is this not a death wish? Like, how do you even practice for this? Like, how do you train for this situation? So it's an entire family, an entire bloodline up here. So one wrong move and the entire bloodline is wiped out. But I guess your own family is probably the best people to do this with, because you can't really trust anyone else other than your family this much, especially if your life sort of depends on it.
Carl Walenda had developed this routine over years, with each member trained from childhood. On this winter evening...
Wait, what? So wait. The only reason why he birthed his children into this world was to have enough ammunition for this 7-man pyramid? That is literally the only reason why they were born? That is an insane reason to have kids. Like, I guess some people have kids, you know, for fulfillment, to fill a void for, you know, their own enjoyment. But then other people have kids so that they can build a 7-man pyramid with them. Okay, you do you. Like, I don't know whether I can, like, I'm not in the place to judge or anything.
On this winter evening, over 7,000 spectators packed the Coliseum to witness one of the most dangerous circus acts ever performed. The Walendas performed without nets, believing they made acts less authentic. The family took positions on the wire at approximately 35 feet above the floor. The complex formation included multiple members at different levels, with the bottom tier supporting those above. As the human pyramid began crossing the wire, something went wrong with the formation's balance. One performer in front began to wobble and lose footing. His loss of balance created a chain reaction that destabilized the entire structure, as the interconnected nature meant one mistake affected everyone. Within seconds, the formation collapsed, sending all 7 performers plummeting toward the concrete floor. The impact was devastating, with multiple members striking the surface with tremendous force. Richard Faunen and Dieter Schepp died from their injuries, while Mario Walenda was paralyzed from the waist down. The other members survived, but sustained serious injuries. The tragedy marked the end of the Walendas' pyramid act.
Well, I mean, technically you can still do a pyramid with 4 people. You can have like 3 at the bottom, 1 at the top, but that is insane. The dad survived? Bro, I would have thought the dad would have been the one to die, because how do you force your children to do this? Like, isn't this like animal cruelty? Because what if the children never wanted to grow up to be circus people? What if they wanted to, you know, get a job somewhere or like start a business or something, but instead they were forced from childhood to do this pyramid, and this pyramid is what ended up killing them? Meanwhile, the dad, the person who orchestrated this entire thing, gets off easy. He just survives, and his son is paralyzed for life. And also, where is the mom? Like, shouldn't the mom be stopping the dad from doing this? Like, I would imagine if the mom was here, like, they wouldn't allow their children to do this pyramid. And at first I was sort of thinking maybe the mom is dead, but then I realized, how would they birth the children if the mom was dead? So the mom must have been alive as the dad was training these people from childhood to do the pyramid. And so the mom is probably still present, unless the dad somehow birthed the children himself, which, I mean, it's 2025. It could be possible, but I doubt it. Like, I don't know why I sort of doubt it.
Italian tiger tragedy. On July 4th, 2019, Ettore Weber was working as a tiger trainer with Marina Circo Orfe near Bari, Italy. The 61-year-old experienced trainer had spent decades working with big cats, developing expertise in managing dangerous animals in circus entertainment. Circo Orfe was one of Italy's most established circus companies, with a multi-generational history. The circus was known throughout Europe for maintaining traditional values while ensuring animal acts met contemporary safety standards.
Bro, I thought they were gonna say the animal acts met contemporary, like, ethical standards, but instead it was safety standards. So we do not care. We do not care about the animals at all. We only care about the humans. Okay, great. Brilliant. This was in 2019. If only they'd waited 6 more years, this would have been the Italian brain rot circus. Imagine an entire circus with, like, all the Italian brain rot animals.
Weber's role involved training and performing with tigers, work requiring exceptional skill and constant vigilance due to predators' unpredictable nature. On this summer day near Bari, Weber was conducting a training session with his tigers, preparing for upcoming performances. Training sessions were held away from public view, allowing trainers to work with animals in controlled environments, focused on conditioning without audience distractions.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the real reason why the training is conducted out of, audience view and in private. I'm 100% sure that's the reason why. So now I have 100% confirmation that these animals were being brutally abused. There is no reason why you would keep the animals in private and train them in private unless you were severely abusing them and you didn't want the audience to find out. Because then if the audience found out how much you were abusing the animals, then they would intentionally stop buying tickets to the circus, because then they know if they support the circus, then they support animal abuse. So maybe that's why something bad happened here. And also maybe they just didn't like the fact that you kind of looked like the Austrian painter.
These sessions were routine but dangerous, involving the same close contact with powerful predators that made public performances risky. The specific circumstances of what went wrong highlight inherent dangers of working with wild animals, even for experienced professionals. Whether due to miscommunication between trainer and animal, unexpected triggers causing aggressive behavior, or simply unpredictable predator nature, the situation turned deadly without warning. Weber was attacked by his own tigers during the training session, suffering immediately fatal injuries. Despite other circus personnel attempting to intervene, the attack was too severe and happened too quickly for effective rescue. The incident shocked the circus community and animal welfare advocates, highlighting ongoing risks faced by those working closely with wild animals in entertainment settings.
Oh yeah, I'm not a social justice warrior, but I feel like at the same time, I feel like perhaps if the guy trained the animals in a more ethical manner, maybe they wouldn't have attacked him and brutally diddled him. I guarantee the first thing they bit off was his dingaling. I bet they just ripped that thing off and gave him the biggest hawk tour of his life. That's why circuses are always a little bit dodgy, because, is it really the unpredictable nature of predators? Or is it the fact that these animals have been abused for so long that maybe, they're just gonna lash out one day? Because just think about it. If you were born as a tiger and you were forced to act in this circus every single day for 20 years, of course at the first opportunity, or of course, you and your friends, the other tiger friends, would try to plan some sort of, escape. It's sort of how people in prison eventually plan a prison break. If I was a tiger, within the first 15 years of my life, I would brutally diddle one of my trainers. That's just me personally, but I feel like a lot of people would do the same thing as well.
Karl Wallenda tragedy. On March 22nd, 1978, Karl Wallenda, the 73-year-old flying Wallenda's patriarch, was attempting a high-wire walk between two hotel towers in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Despite his age, Wallenda remained determined to continue performing death-defying stunts that made his family internationally famous.
But it was also an act that killed your family, isn't it? This literally killed your family. 2 family members dead, 1 paralyzed, and the other 2 survived. And yet you're still going to keep going? The death of your 2 children, does not faze you at all? What is wrong with you? What is actually wrong with you?
This walk was intended to span 750 feet between Condado Plaza Hotel towers at 121 feet above the street, with no safety net. Wallenda had planned this stunt for months to maintain his reputation as the world's greatest high-wire performer. Even at 73, he practiced daily and performed regularly, refusing to retire despite family concerns about age and increasing risks.
Well, he only had 3 more family members left to warn him. It's not like the other 2 that died could warn him, and it's not like the other guy that got paralyzed could stand up for himself and warn him.
The San Juan Walk was being filmed for television and attracted significant Caribbean media attention. Weather conditions included wind that would prove problematic for such a dangerous performance. However, Wallenda had performed in challenging weather before and was confident in his ability to adapt his technique.
Bro, what do you mean adapt your technique? How hard is it to just wait a single day? It's not like you have to wait a week. You just wait the next day for the wind to go away. What's the saying? It's rain, rain, go away, come again another day? Yeah, it will just come another day. You just have to wait one day, literally one day. Is your life really, not worth one day? A one-day wait? But maybe this guy was so old that he just didn't want to risk it, and so he just wanted to do this and get it over and done with before he, just dropped dead one day.
As hundreds of spectators gathered below and television cameras recorded, Wallenda began his walk from one hotel tower. He carried his traditional 30-foot balancing pole, moving with steady steps that characterized his decades of performances. The first portion proceeded normally, with Wallenda maintaining balance despite challenging conditions. However, as he approached the midpoint, wind conditions created difficulties that even his extensive experience couldn't overcome. The combination of gusty winds and his wire position made maintaining balance impossible. Despite decades of experience and attempts to recover using his pole, Walenda began wobbling uncontrollably. Within moments, he lost his grip and fell 121 feet to the pavement below. The fall was instantly fatal, bringing a tragic end to the career of one of the most legendary high-wire performers in circus history.
Great, so now we only have 2 family members left in the Walenda family. Another one bites the dust. So we have the 2 kids that died in the earlier thing, the 1 kid that got paralyzed, and then the other 2 that are surviving. So maybe we have 2.5 people surviving. But the fact that this was caught on live TV as well, like, bro, if you're broadcasting this live and you can clearly see that it's like windy, like me personally, I would probably turn the camera away, like way before he even reaches the midway point. Because me personally, I don't think he's making it anyway, like even close to a 3rd point. And so I don't want to accidentally catch his death on live TV and then like all the kids at home watching it have to just watch him just splat on the ground.
Walenda sway pole incident. In 1963, Henrietta Yetta Grodefent was performing with a traveling circus in Omaha, Nebraska. Grodefent was a member of the extended Walenda family, working as Carl
this
Walenda.
stupid Walenda family. What is wrong with this Walenda family? Does every single member of the Walenda family have a death wish? First, the dad trains the children to their death, then the dad goes and dies himself, and now some random family member who just claims to be Walenda blood is gonna go and unalive herself somehow?
Working as Carl Walenda's sister-in-law and an experienced aerial performer. She specialized in sway pole performances, a demanding aerial act requiring performers to climb a tall, flexible pole and execute acrobatics while the pole swayed dramatically. The sway pole act was one of the more dangerous aerial performances, combining risks of significant heights with the challenge of performing on an unstable, moving apparatus.
But also, what if you slip and you accidentally like fall down the sway pole, but instead of, falling down it, it just inserts itself up your guyat or your lasagna and works its way up there and out your mouth, and then you sort of what is it called, you're sort of like I don't know, like impaled, like you're a human kebab, like it's going up your ass and out your mouth, and this is the kebab stick, and then you're the kebab, just a meat down here.
Unlike other aerial acts using safety nets, sway pole performances relied solely on performer skill and experience. The pole's flexibility, which created dramatic swaying motion, making the act spectacular, also made it unpredictable and difficult to control during complex maneuvers. On the evening of her final performance in Omaha, Grodefent was executing her sway pole routine in front of several hundred spectators. The performance proceeded normally through early portions, with Grodefent demonstrating skill and grace that made her a respected performer within the circus community. However, during her routine, something went catastrophically wrong, whether due to equipment failure, miscalculation in timing, or unexpected pole movement that threw off her positioning. Grodefent lost control during her performance. She fell from the sway pole at approximately 50 feet, with no safety equipment to break her fall. The fall proved immediately fatal, as the height and impact force caused incompatible injuries. Emergency medical personnel were summoned, but nothing could save her life.
Bro, what do you mean incompatible injuries? Isn't that like incompatible software? Like you can't download Windows stuff on a Mac and you can't download Mac stuff on a Windows computer? But also they're saying maybe it's because of faulty equipment, maybe because timing, maybe because something else, maybe that's why she fell. Bro, I already know the reason why she fell. It's the Walenda curse. The Walenda family has a curse. The Walenda family should stop doing the circus stuff because there is obviously some sort of like higher power, like some supernatural curse.
Lion Tamer tragedy. On January 3rd, 1872, Thomas McCarty, performing as Masardi, was working as a lion tamer with Pablo Fonque's Circus Royal in Bolton, England.
Damn, his name was Thomas McCarty and he was performing as Masardi. Wow, what a brilliant stage name. This guy was the OG Playboy Masardi. Instead of Playboy Cardi, it's Playboy Masardi. But also, this happened in 1872. Bro, who even documented anything in 1872? Were cameras even invented back then?
McCarty was one of the featured animal trainers, specializing in working with large cats when safety protocols were primitive. Wild animal acts were popular in Victorian England, drawing crowds eager to see humans demonstrate mastery over predators. However, training methods were harsh and safety measures inadequate. Pablo Fonque's Circus Royal was one of England's most successful traveling circuses, and McCart's Lion Act was a primary attraction. The performance involved the trainer entering a cage with multiple lions, putting them through routines to demonstrate obedience and the trainer's courage. On this cold January evening in Bolton, hundreds of spectators gathered for the circus performance, including McCart's Lion Act. The show proceeded normally until McCarty entered the lion cage for his featured performance. Something went wrong during the routine that proved fatal, whether due to miscalculation, aggressive animal behavior, or the unpredictable nature of working with wild predators.
Or maybe he took too much lean, just like Playboy Playboy Masadi took too much lean like Playboy Cardi.
The situation turned deadly. One or more lions attacked McCarty while he performed his routine, overpowering him before other personnel could intervene. Despite immediate efforts to drive the animals away and provide medical assistance, McCarty sustained fatal injuries. The attack highlighted extreme dangers faced by animal trainers when safety equipment and emergency protocols were underdeveloped. His death became one of the documented cases that eventually led to improved safety measures for circus animal acts.
Bro, what do you mean improved safety measures for animal acts? Shouldn't you just not do animal acts in the first place? Isn't that the best safety measure? Because first of all, it's incredibly cruel to do like animal acts in the circus. Because look at that, you see that? It's a bonky thing. Like imagine growing up as a lion and being forced to jump through a hula hoop like in front of a crowd. What if you hate jumping through these hula hoops like a little kitten? But then you're just forced to do it every single day. Otherwise you get hit with a stick on the head. And so how about instead of increasing safety equipment for the animal trainers, why don't we just abolish animal training in the first place? That is literally the solution for all this. Instead of focusing your energy on training animals, you should focus your energy on developing the iPhone so that you guys have other entertainments.
Circus Knei Incident. On June 19th, 1984, Circus Knei, Switzerland's national circus, was conducting morning training activities in Bad Gastein, Austria, when tragedy struck during routine animal...
Wait, what is that country called? Bad Gastein? Isn't Bad Gastro? That's all I see. Because yesterday I had some explosive diarrhea, and I would also call that Bad Gastro. So you're gonna name an entire country after my explosive diarrhea?
The renowned company, entertaining European audiences since 1919, was known continent-wide for high production values and extensive animal menageries. Circus Knei maintained one of Europe's most impressive exotic animal collections, including elephants featured prominently in performances and synonymous with the circus's identity. On this summer morning in the Austrian resort town, circus personnel conducted routine training and care activities with animals preparing for that evening's performance. These behind-the-scenes activities were essential for maintaining animal conditioning and ensuring they remained responsive to handlers during public performances.
Okay, so behind-the-scenes activities is another word for animal abuse. I guarantee they were diddling the frick out of this guy's dingling. This elephant probably had a giant, humongous, massive, ginormous dingling, and they're probably diddling it like crazy.
However, working closely with large, powerful animals always carried inherent risks, even during routine daily activities. The tragedy involved Madura, one of the circus's elephants, and her keeper during what should have been routine training. The specific circumstances triggering the deadly incident remain unclear, but the elephant suddenly became aggressive toward her handler without apparent warning, whether due to stress, illness, confusion, or unpredictable behavior occurring with wild animals in captivity.
Or of course, it could have just been the fact that she was brutally abused as an animal. Like, why do they keep saying, oh, I don't know why the animals attack them? Bro, it's so obvious. It's animal abuse. If you were an animal, of course you would kill your trainer at the first opportunity. Like, she was just planning this the entire time. She was scheming it. Like, it's how obvious is it?
Madura attacked and killed her keeper during the training session. The attack happened quickly, with such force that other circus personnel couldn't intervene effectively to save the keeper's life. The incident shocked the circus community and Bad Gastein's local population, as Circus Knei had built its reputation over decades on professional animal handling.
Well, honestly, it did not shock me one single bit. It shocked the country, it shocked the audience, but I mean, realistically, are you really shocked? I guarantee if you knew what was going on behind the scenes, you would not be shocked at all. Honestly, the only thing I'm shocked about is that this elephant didn't kill his trainer like years earlier.
Tyke the elephant. On August 20th, 1994, Tyke, a 20-year-old African elephant, was performing at Circus International in Honolulu's Neil Blaisdell Center. The 8,400-pound elephant had displayed erratic behavior, with activists documenting stress signs. A year earlier in Altoona, Pennsylvania, Tyke had injured a groomer and attacked a trainer, but the circus continued using her.
No, it's fine. A 3,000-kilogram elephant almost killed these two people. Yeah, let's just keep using her in our circus. What could possibly go wrong? A 3,000-kilogram elephant who evidently wants to kill all humans? And also, what's with your Chinese do-rag? Why do you have the China flag on your do-rag? Are you meant to be some sort of undercover CCP spy in the circus? All the way in Honolulu in Hawaii? Okay, interesting choice to... Okay.
On this humid Saturday, approximately 4,000 spectators gathered for the matinee, many children seated near the ring. Tyke was performing under trainer Alan Campbell's direction when something triggered her aggression. Without warning, she turned on Campbell, grabbing him with her trunk and throwing him down. The audience thought it was part of the show until they heard screams.
Bro, what do you mean something triggered her? Wasn't it pretty obvious that she had this plan the entire time? I don't think anything triggered her. Like, maybe something triggered her when she was, I don't know, 15, but this elephant is 20 years old. And so this elephant has been scheming for the past 20 years. It was waiting for the golden opportunity to finally kill a human.
Tyke trampled Campbell repeatedly while he crawled away, crushing his ribs. Groomer Dallas Beckwith rushed to help, but Tyke immediately turned on him, trampling him as well. The audience erupted in panic as parents grabbed children and fled. Tyke broke through barriers and charged into the seating area, scattering terrified spectators. She burst through the main entrance onto Honolulu's streets, creating chaos as cars swerved and pedestrians ran. For over 30 minutes, she wandered downtown while police tried to contain her.
Yeah, honestly, if I was an elephant in this situation for 20 years of my life, I'm 23, so 20 years of my life, like in a circus as an elephant, I would probably do the same thing as well. Like, I'm not encouraging this behavior. If you're like any elephants watching this, like, do not do this at home. But I feel like any elephant would also do this as well. I feel like most elephants that don't do this are just afraid of getting cancelled or something. Like, if this was me, if I was an elephant, hypothetically, in GTA, I would charge the stands. I would just do laps around the stands as if it was like a palindrome, like the bicycle thing. And I would stomp everyone like a Mexican wave. Everyone. No one is getting spared. Even the kids would rather face P. Diddy rather than, face my boots just trampling all of them. In GTA, of course. In GTA, okay? Strictly in GTA.
Multiple tranquilizer attempts failed. As Tyke grew more agitated, police used lethal force, firing approximately 86 rounds before she collapsed on Kalakaua Avenue. Campbell died from his injuries, while Beckwith survived but suffered serious injuries.
But what about the elephant? Like, that's the only thing I care about here. Like, did the elephant die or not? 86 rounds and it still survived? Bro, that elephant is built like an absolute tank. That elephant might be the Alpha Sigma male. Actually, no, she died. She died during this attack. She died from blood loss. Okay, damn. That is insane. We're not even going to mention that she died.
Cirque du Soleil tragedy. On June 29, 2013, French aerialist Sarah Gaillard-Guillot was performing in Cirque du Soleil's Ka at the MGM Grand when her routine went wrong. The 31-year-old mother had been with Cirque du Soleil since 2006, specializing in aerial silk performances. K was one of their most complex productions, featuring elaborate stage machinery and aerial choreography. The signature piece involved a massive rotating platform that tilted while performers enacted battle scenes. On this Saturday evening, over 1,800 spectators packed the theater. The show ran smoothly through its first act. Gaillard-Guillot had completed earlier sequences without incident and was preparing for her final routine. As the second act began, she was positioned high above the stage on aerial silks, preparing to descend as part of the climactic sequence. The routine required her to drop rapidly while controlling her descent, timing movements with the rotating stage below. Something went wrong during this descent. Instead of the controlled drop audiences had seen previously, Gaillard-Guillot fell freely from approximately 94 feet. A wire rope had jumped the sheave and was severed, leaving her with no protection.
Bro, 94 feet, 29 meters with no protective equipment. What? Couldn't she have just grabbed onto this bed sheet? I think I've seen something similar to this, like on like a cruise or something. And in front of 1,800 people. That is as bad as like live streaming your own death on Twitch or something.
She struck the edge of the moving platform with tremendous force before falling into the orchestra pit. The impact echoed throughout the theater. The show stopped immediately as crew members rushed to assist while medical personnel were summoned. She was pronounced dead that night from her injuries. Nevada OSHA found multiple safety violations.
Bro, and she was a mother of 2 as well. She was 31 years old. She started the circus when, like 7 years prior in 2006. So she started when she was 24 years old. But I mean, I'm just going to theorize here. So she got into the Cirque delay when she was like 24 years old. And so, I don't know, like maybe she wasn't like a prodigy or something. Like, I'd assume a lot of people get into like Cirque delay when they're like, I don't know, like teenagers, if they're like absolutely cracked. And so maybe like there could have been like an alternate universe where like she grabbed onto this like bedsheet thingy, but I don't know whether what I'm saying is insensitive, but like I'm just trying to like theorize how she could have like possibly saved herself. But I don't know, maybe this is just pure bad luck, especially if OSHA like found violations. I assume this is like occupational health and safety.